Welcome to another episode of StartUP Stories, the startup podcast that aims to motivate and challenge you through inspiring stories from entrepreneurs themselves. We chat with them about their journey, challenges, and experiences. My name is Rachel, and I'm the host of StartUP Stories. Sitting next to me today is Jasper Struelens from Base Skis. Welcome.
Well, thanks for having me.
Jasper moved to Germany to obtain his engineering degree and attended an entrepreneurship program at the University of Savoie-Mont-Blanc in France. He has worked as a prototyping and test engineer at Cowboy e-bikes and as a graduate engineer for the ocean cleanup in Rotterdam and Indonesia. His ski career started at the Austrian Snow Sports Academy before taking on ski instructor positions in Canada, Germany, and Switzerland to eventually start his sustainable ski company. After 2 years of preparation, it was founded here in Leuven in 2023. Base Skis was selected as one of the startups of tomorrow at the StartUP at KBC Accelerator. Their mission is to redesign skis to stop polluting and keep riding. So we're going to put you on the hot seat straight away, Jasper, and we're going to do a quick fire round of questions just to get to know a little bit more about the company.
All right.
So, number of products?
One product, different models.
Where are they made?
Here in Belgium.
Number of products sold last year?
0. We're launching in September, so yeah.
Distributed in how many countries?
We're going to launch in all of Europe, so European-wide launch.
Awesome. Competitors?
Lots of big brands like Atomic, Rossignol, Salomon, and stuff. Yeah.
And how do you differ?
Well, we're the only one that makes a ski that doesn't leave a trail of microplastics and wax behind. That's also circular on top of that.
Wow. How is your startup financed?
Right now it's bootstrapped, so yeah, self-funded, and on top we got a government grant from Vlaio to spend on tech and develop the product further.
And how long have you been working on this?
2.5 years full time right now.
Wow. Yeah. How big is your team?
Right now, a solo founder. I used to have a co-founder from Germany, but we split ways. And so yeah, supported by lots of students and then partners, freelancers, and other founders to help me out.
What is your marketing spend?
Right now, 0. That's a lot of time. I mean, obviously you need a little bit of budget for transportation and hotels and stuff, but we did, for example, a documentary with German TV that aired 2 weeks ago. So that was live in prime time in Switzerland and Austria and Germany, but you don't really spend on it, except time and a lot of effort. And sometimes it's still 4 in the morning and it's really long days, lots of work, but you don't really spend a lot of money on it.
Yeah. And what's your monthly burn?
Well, right now it's very, very low, but next week it might be very high depending on what we spend on tech. But that's covered by the grant. So it's mainly bootstrapped. So yeah, save as much as you can, live like a student.
Awesome, that's some great insights already. A little bit more elaborate questions then to get to know a little bit more about you. You were, as I said, selected as one of the startups of tomorrow. How has this benefited your company up till now, and how has it individually maybe benefited you as an entrepreneur?
Both. I'll start with personal. I used to be super shy in school and I wasn't really a good presenter and I was very nervous for any presentation about anything. And so it was good to push myself to get on stage and to actually pitch for a couple hundred people, and then we got invited to speak at Tomorrowland, the Love Tomorrow conference it was called. So yeah, very nice opportunity, gives you lots of credibility of course, so context from that as well, so yeah, it was super beneficial. Wow,
no, you would not say that you were so shy and afraid to present.
Yeah, came a long ways for sure.
And I can see the relevance of your ski instructor experience, obviously, but how have your other experiences helped you as an entrepreneur? Were there specific experiences that pushed you into creating your own design of skis or other aspects?
Yeah, 100%. Because I started actually designing a foldable ski at uni because I was a ski instructor, like you said, and I wanted to I took the train to the Alps constantly, and I wanted a way to do that by train, but just in a carry-on. And so I wanted to make foldable skis for that, just to make it easier to take the train. But then I started designing and I realized, whoa, that's like, there are products in there that are carcinogenic, that create cancer and all these things. So I was like, I don't want to participate in this anymore. And so I stopped that project. And then I started looking at possible companies that I still would want to be part of. And then I came to the conclusion that there are not that many out there that I really agree with, like on a product level, what they actually make. And so went to the ocean cleanup and learned so much about plastic pollution, about pollution in general. And that's where I found out that I myself was also polluting in different ways with the wax, with plastic and stuff. So I only found out about this whole thing that I'm solving now at the ocean cleanup. So that was one of the major experiences that I had that influenced me to start this.
Yeah, I had no idea myself.
Yeah.
And base skis, highlight skiing in the Alps. Your website mentions delivering skis. What is your current international presence? How do you see that growth? And responsibly, I guess. You're very conscious of it, so.
Right, yeah, for now we're staying here in Leuven because we're based next to the train station, which is very easy for us. For example, France is very easily accessible, like 4.5 hours by train. You're in the Alps. Same with Austria, and Austria to France is actually longer than from here to the French Alps, so it's actually not that bad.
Wow. Nice.
And on top, we have all these indoor ski resorts where we can test year round. And actually a lot of skiers come from the Benelux, so there are more skiers here than in Austria. And then we're not even counting like Düsseldorf, Cologne, or Paris, which is also very close. So a lot of customers are here. So we're not really planning on moving away soon.
No, that is really interesting. I was doing a ski course recently in Austria, and the people on the course were saying that the amount of like shops around skiing and people that can give good advice is so limited because, I don't know, I guess there's less people doing the sports than there are here. And we were saying that, well, here there's so much offer actually.
Yeah, for sure.
So it must be a much bigger thing.
For sure.
So the topic for these the talks today are about, as we've said, sustainability, international growth. So we're going to move into a few more of those topic questions.
All right.
So as I said, I'm also a bit of a ski fan. I'm married to a ski obsessor. He spends the whole entire summer dreaming of
winter.
Being on the skis. And so we recently did a ski touring course, and I'm very aware of the threat of the sport as a consequence of global warming. So I'm interested how you are busy with the sustainable aspect as a sustainable ski brand, not in general.
Right. So I'd say as a manufacturer, just the production part, it was from the start the goal to create a circular product, which means that you can reuse the resources over and over again so that you don't lose the resources. Because right now a ski is not recyclable. So in a couple of weeks at the end of the season here, we'll see millions of skis dumped on a pile because they are not recyclable. So that's one thing. So just the design aspect, which influences all the rest behind it, for sure. But on the other hand, the biggest impact is basically transportation to the Alps for us. And it goes up to 90% depending where you come from, how you travel. So we do everything by train because it just, 90% of your impact is gone compared to driving by car, of course. So we do that. And on top, I think like for the future, the lower lying resorts will struggle to keep that 100 days that you need to run a ski resort sustainably, like financially speaking.
They need 100 days?
That's about what they say in the industry to survive, and that will shorten. So some resorts will struggle.
Yeah.
But for example, in Canada where I work, they already had that years ago, and what they did, they shifted to summer, and so they made up for that revenue loss in summer. So they didn't really close. So it will be a shorter season for sure. Will it be gone? I don't think so. If you go high enough, like let's say above 2,000 meters, I think it should be fine for our lifetime. After that, no one knows, I think.
No.
Let's do our best and and pray to the snow gods.
And base skis, highlight skiing in the Alps. your website mentions Leuven. What is the current international presence? How do you see your growth further? Do you see starting in Belgium as an advantage or a disadvantage for that international growth specifically?
I think it is an advantage because we're at a young age exposed to different cultures here. Like you have Brussels, you have Wallonia, you have Flanders, you realize it's not just you. And on top, for my situation, you don't come from the ski industry, so you're not stuck in the ways of the ski industry, and you can think in new ways, in different ways. And just, the transportation here is wonderful. You're so close to all the countries around us that is, I think, a wonderful hub to expand from. Mm-hmm. And like in an hour, you're in Germany, and it's just, I think, a wonderful place to be. On top of, train connections to Brussels. You're also very close to the EU, so you're up to date with all the legislation, new things coming out. I think it's definitely not the worst place to be, even for a ski startup. Yeah.
Great. Okay. With expanding into the whole of Europe, the question does arise, as a sustainability brand, like can you truly do that in line with your values? How do you do something like that?
It's very tough, and that's the reason we only use 2 types of material, which is stainless steel and wood, because we have a limited amount of resources on the earth, and so we need to go circular fully in the long term. Mm-hmm. Not talking 20 years here, but very long term, we really need to recycle everything we have because it's limited. So at one point you're going to run out. And so we went for steel because you can melt it down and then recycle it, and wood, because basically all of the products that nature provides are already circular, and then the things that are man-made are only a few.
Yeah.
Which we personally don't count plastic to, because the quality degrades every time you recycle, so you can't eternally recycle plastics. So at one point it's just trash, and that you don't really have with steel because you can recycle it at the same value really. But it's true that whatever you do, you use energy. Nothing is ever perfect. Everyone has an impact. There is this idea of, I think it was a budget of 1.5 to 2 tons per person per year, mm-hmm. to live a sustainable life. You can choose for yourself which ones you put in there. Yeah. For me, skiing is important. Mm-hmm. Let's say it counts for 10-20%. Okay, I'll have to cut down on other things, but I think it is possible. Yeah, I do believe in that.
Yeah, and as I said, I really love skiing. I was aware of the impact, and especially the transport going there, that, mm-hmm. I indeed read somewhere that your impact of the actual skiing is quite limited to 2 to 5%. It's really getting there. But I didn't know about the skis and actually what it leaves behind. And it sounds like I'm wondering who is the audience, who is going to be buying the products, and is there going to be a part of the strategy that is actually also educating sport lovers about their impact?
100%. Yeah, I myself didn't know when I was a ski instructor. I also told people to pollute as well indirectly. I didn't know about it. I wouldn't have, right? But I did. So basically, the impact is also something that's very hard to calculate. There is not really a lot of research on it. Like, our own numbers go to about 500 billion liters of water per year that is not drinkable anymore because of skiing, which is quite a bit. It's not just for skiers, it's also for the people living in Austria or in France that would have, they would have had clean water and they don't anymore. Mm-hmm. Or it lands in the ocean and then recycles back onto our fields in Belgium. The water cycle is all connected, so whatever you pollute on one side of the world comes back to the other side at one point or another. So it does influence people in the sense that whatever you buy here will influence someone in America or in Asia, and then the other way around. So I think it's very important to know where your product comes from, who it's influencing, and then to just have that. But like you say, how do you live with your values if you still ski? I mean, it's mm-hmm. a lot of awareness, a lot of education, mm-hmm. Educating yourself, especially being very honest with yourself. Mm-hmm. Not always easy.
And who do you see as then the I don't know how in tech you say, like the first adopters.
Yeah, the early adopters.
The ones that will just go out and say, or maybe you've had people that have said, okay, as soon as the product's ready, I'm going to be there.
Yeah, we've had two types of people actually. So one reason that one person would buy is it's just easier because you don't need to wax anymore.
Oh.
And so those are just general people that are not necessarily into the environment. They're just, I like skiing and I don't like to pay for wax and I don't like to go to the ski shop. So it's just purely, comfort. And financial gains, of course, as well, and then time. And then on the other hand, of course, all the people that are into sustainability that are like, oh, I'm polluting the mountains. Like, I would not leave trash out there in summer when I go hiking. Why would I like shred a block of wax, you know?
Yeah.
Like, why would I go around and spread all these particles everywhere that no one will ever clean up because it's too dispersed? So those types of people that are really into sustainability, that really love skiing and still want to continue skiing, and then people that are they just love the mountains and they like the comfort, like anyone, I guess. Yeah. It's an added benefit for sure.
Super. Thank you so much for coming by today and talking to us.
Well, thanks for having me.
Thank you everyone for listening. We hope you found it super valuable. If you have any questions or feedback, or if you want to take part in our podcast, please reach out to us through the Value Network channels. Thank you and have a great day.